Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the most normal truck that happens to be electric that you can buy on the market today. This is the Ford F-150 Lightning. And in this video, I'm going to tell you all the ways that this is better than that weird Tesla Cybertruck. Stay tuned. All right, gearheads, a lot of stuff to get out of the way with this one. First of all, this is actually a 2023 model, but we were in Detroit when Ford launched the 24 models of the F-150, and nothing is changing for the Lightning. So yes, we have the 75th anniversary badge on this one, but really that is the only thing that changes for 2024. In fact, as I'm filming this in mid-February of 2024, if you still go to Ford's website and look for a Lightning, you're going to be shopping for a 2023 model. Just a little bit of the sign of the times. Since we last had one of these 2 years ago, yes, this electric truck has been on the market virtually uncontested for about a couple years. Now, of course, yes, there's the Rivian R1T. There is the Tesla Cybertruck, which I have gotten to check out since then. And there is the Chevy Silverado EV work truck, though we're still waiting on that RST to hit the market. And that's going to be significantly more than this vehicle right here. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the way we normally start vehicle reviews here on the channel, and that is talking about, well, what's under the hood. And here, it's whatever I want to be under the hood. We have got a 14.1 cubic foot front trunk. That's bigger than a Toyota Camry's trunk, and Ford claims, with this little Easter egg up here, that it's big enough for 2 golf bags. I've only got my one, but you can see there is plenty of room in here. I even have my backpack. On top of that, we get a little divider panel right here that you can set up in multiple different places, including down lower right here. And that opens this bottom section that has a drain plug in it that works as a cooler. And I can tell you from experience, it does work as a cooler. So that is a nice touch. This panel right here supports 400 pounds, so I could get in and jump on it and still not have to worry about anything. All of that is very nice. We've got a lot of features underneath here, like bag hooks to put all your shopping bags. And let me tell you, when we had this one 2 years ago, or a vehicle like this 2 years ago, really messed up with the clerks bringing out our curbside order when I opened the hood from inside and told them to put the groceries in here. Totally tripped them out because there should be an engine here, right? But we can talk about what powers this thing with its dual electric motors. And this being the extended range, we've got the long range battery, the bigger battery of the two on this one. So yes, dual electric motor, 131 kilowatt hour liquid cooled lithium-ion battery pack underneath, 580 horsepower, 775 pound-feet of torque. This thing is very powerful and very quick. Full-time all-wheel drive and 4 driver-selectable drive modes: normal, sport, off-road, tow and haul. And we'll get into all of that here in just a moment. But yes, this is unlike any other pickup truck that I have driven. Have not sampled the Rivian, have not sampled the Tesla, but this is a fun vehicle so far in our second go round with it. Underneath the front trunk up here, we do get some power on board. So 4 3-prong plugs, a USB-C, USB-A, and a breaker up here. We'll talk more about all the power capability up front here when we get inside, but you can see it's a 2.4 kilowatt max front power system up here. As we come in close, you can see just all the different ways that Ford has made this space usable. Again, all the bag hooks that you can just flip over so you can hang your bags in here. You've got multiple different tie-down points in here. And then you have this 400-pound weight-rated cover that does expose the lower section here with that drain plug. It does hold ice very well, though it does melt kind of quick in an East Texas day. And we do have some LED lighting under here. You can see, let's see, push that button again. Yeah, LED lighting under here that actually points down, lights up this as a workspace, so you can use this as a workspace. turn those off. You have an emergency release if somebody gets stuck in here. Don't know why that would happen. Again, that Easter egg showing 2 golf bags fit under here, and you even get the Ford logo up underneath the front. And you can close it very easily with a push of a button. Just like that, gives you a few beeps to let you know, hey, I'm coming down, get out of the way because I am about to close. Now, unlike the Tesla Cybertruck, this won't cut your hand off. If you want to see a full test of that feature, go check out our second channel, GT Premium Reviews. We have a lot of fun seeing what will and will not get stuck underneath the hood as it comes down. For 2024, the styling of the gas-powered F-150 has changed. They get new lights, new grills, but since the Lightning has a different look altogether, it stays the same for 2024. You still get that LED light bar that runs all the way across and down the sides, LED lighting all the way up front, LED turn signals, LED all the things. You get this faux grille up front, but otherwise, it is a normal F-150. That is one of the beautiful things about this pickup truck. Unlike the Cybertruck that is weird, one-off, and different with that stainless steel exoskeleton that doesn't really share many parts with any other Tesla vehicle, this is based on America's best-selling vehicle. Many of the body panels are the same body panels. The F-150 gas-powered version is all aluminum to save weight, which also translates here to this electric version, which also saves weight. Ford is using volume and leverage of having the best-selling nameplate to make a very compelling electric vehicle, and it translates very well here on the F-150 Lightning. As we come around to the side, there really is little on the side profile to give this away that it is an electric. You do have that charge port door. You do have different headlights and taillights. I really like that even here on the side, you can see the turn signals on the taillights, and even a little bit on the headlights. You get that mirror turn signal as well. As we come around here back to the front, the range in which you can see that rear taillight back here is just very impressive. The design of it is really cool. Again, you get the charge port door, you get these Lightning specific wheels. These are the mid-grade wheels. They're nice, they're 20-inch, they do the job. They're this graphite color. And like I said, they're 20-inch wheels wrapped in these General Grabber 275/60 R20-inch rubber. This is an on-road tire. They are all seasons. They do their best to hold on as we utilize that 775 pound-feet of torque. Back behind here, we do have the charge port door. You just push it and open it. You can see it's a J172/CCS plug. Ford is switching over to the NACS, the NACS, the Tesla plug, whatever you want to call it, to use the Tesla charging network. They're working on getting software upgrades to where you could just get an adapter and plug and play with Tesla. So this is going to be an even more compelling vehicle when Ford switches over to that NACS connector as a built-in feature. But just a very nice and convenient charge port right there. Very easy to get to. There is one on the other side, or a panel like that on the other side. No charge plug back behind it. I do believe only Porsche or Porsche has dual function charge ports, and their Audi counterparts. Again, otherwise, coming around to the side, this looks like a normal F-150. That's because it essentially is a normal F-150. A little bit different powertrain and a little bit different suspension when we get down to it. This is the one and only F-150 to ever have independent rear suspension. And I will say this is perhaps one of the best riding, if not the best riding F-150 on the market. Some could argue the Raptor R is a very good riding vehicle, and I would say it is. It's meant for doing over 100 miles per hour in the desert. You do have those Fox-tuned shocks on the Raptor, but having the independent rear suspension on this, having all the weight of that battery pack down low underneath the vehicle, just makes this a very smooth, very nice riding vehicle. I can say this is a very luxurious, very nice ride, very posh, very plush, and very comfortable, which makes me wonder why Ford isn't making an Expedition version of the Lightning and why Lincoln isn't making anything off this platform. Ford could really leverage their different brands and their different shoppers and different amenities with different vehicles and different brands, all utilizing this same platform. So far, we've got nothing on whether or not we're going to get a Navigator or an Expedition or even the next generation Mark LT or Blackwood or whatever Lincoln wants to call it. Back here in the back, we do get a slightly different tailgate than the normal F-150's different taillights. You get the LED light bar that goes all the way across the back. You can see our reverse lights are here on the tailgate until we electronically release the tailgate, and you can see we've got other reverse lights hidden behind a little extra part of the tailgate that goes right there. Interesting look. I'm not quite sure why they chose this dual function lighting experiment. I do believe these are brighter and these do a better job of lighting all the way around, but you only see them when the tailgate is down. Speaking of this tailgate, like many F-150s, you get the clamp ports back here so you can clamp some wood to do some woodworking back here. Not sure you're going to be using this for woodworking because these tick marks are just too thick to do any actual measurements as you are trying to precisely cut something. This is better for fishtails, fish stories, stuff like that. Places for pencils and different things along the back. It's nice that they give you options of how to use this space, but I don't know how many people are actually using it like that. And yes, Ford did invent the tailgate wars with their built-in tailgate step with retractable handle. I really like it. They think they've ended the tailgate wars with the new 2024 tailgate door that they've got back here, but I would say that this is a much more useful feature in my opinion, and in my use case, and in my older age as I'm approaching 40 than that tailgate door that they've instituted. This one does have a Ford branded tri-panel hard retractable tonneau cover, and I will say with the tonneau cover in place, I can still see out the back window. Huh, funny how that is. Unlike the Tesla Cybertruck that when you have the tonneau cover in place, well, that's all you see is the tonneau cover. You have to look at the large screen in the middle to see a rear view camera projection. Back here, we get some additional power back here with two breakers. You can see we've got two sets of 110 plugs, each with their own breaker, and then a 240 plug, so you can charge other EVs back here. We get some LED lighting back here, all kinds of fun stuff. That LED light switch also triggers the lights on the back of the cab to give you a full array of lighting back here, which I really like. I'm gonna go ahead and put this handle away and show you another trick feature of this tailgate once we get this step put away, which is a two-person process. If you do have your, or a two-hand process, if you do have your hands full from loading stuff up back here in the back of your pickup truck and you just, or unloading, you can just use your knee, lift up on the tailgate a little bit, and it will do the rest for you, which is a really nice touch. Again, Teslas do not do that. They have a power deploying tailgate, but you've got to lift it up yourself. It will close the last little bit for you on its own with an electronically assisted motor, but it will not lift all the way. So very, very nice touch. And again, this is the same 5.5 foot, there we go, bed that is in all other F-150 crew cabs. This is the only configuration you can get the Lightning in because of the battery placement and all that. And this really is the best-selling configuration, Crew Max, crew cab with 5.5 foot bed. So that is why Ford optioned this. I would say if the demand was there, which it still is growing for electric vehicles, but if the demand was there, I'm sure Ford could offer different cab bed configurations. We're just not there yet. We could definitely see that in the future. As we come up to this one, before we get in, I do want to talk about the key. It is your typical Ford key. It's a little big, a little chunky, but you don't need this on you because you can use the Ford Pass app on your phone, We'll talk about that here in a second, but we have lock, unlock, your front button, your tailgate button, panic button, and you can deploy a physical key. You can just keep it in your pocket, in your purse, wherever you keep it, because it is a passive entry system. You just put your hand on the back, that unlocks it. You push that button right there, and it locks it, and it is on all 4 doors. I really like that a lot. Ford also gives you the keypad on the side of the vehicle. So if you forget your key and you forget your phone, you can still get into it. I did mention the Ford Pass app. Ford has actually given us a login for this pickup truck, which is not always the case with vehicle loans, but you can see here, I've got the Ford Pass app pulled up. I've got my phone as a key set up, so I can use this and have used this as a key. You can see we're at 100%, 311 miles of range based on my current driving habits and methods. So that is really nice. We've seen just over, I believe, 326 miles of all electric range when this thing is fully topped off and sitting at home. I will say this is at 100%, but I drove a few miles to get here. So I really like how this is a very efficient vehicle. We'll get more into that here in just a moment. Looking at the interior, you get this denim style look here with all the bronze accents and stitching in this one. I really like it. Some fake wood up here, 3-person memory seat, which is nice. All your window and mirror controls. Express up and down for the front windows, but not the back. You can power fold the mirrors with that button right there, which is absolutely necessary for getting this into our 2 single bay garage door garage. I wonder why that one's not folding back out. Probably because the door is open. There it goes. But looking over here, this being the Lariat trim, we had the Platinum trim 2 years ago. This being the Lariat, we just get the normal leather seats here. These are heated and ventilated, so that's nice. Coming down here, we have 2-way lumbar with multiple positions right there. Coming to this control panel right here, there's a lot going on. You've got zone lighting in this. We'll talk more about that when we get to the screen, but lights on both the mirrors. You can open the front, open the tailgate, all your lighting here, your cab lighting back in the back, electronic parking brake, and your adjustable pedals. I really like how Ford still offers adjustable pedals. Works really well for Holly and I, given that she is 5 foot and I am not. So really like that a lot. These seats are very comfortable. I like how they're two-toned, but let's go ahead, climb up on in and close the door. I do have this vehicle already running. It's been running the entire time we've been filming. I'm going to turn it off just so you can see some of the animations that Ford has built into this 12-inch screen up here. See, it tells you everything that you've got going on. It's been running 20 minutes while I've been filming. I haven't gone anywhere, but haven't really used much battery at all. Starting it up, you get the built Ford Tough, and if I had opened the door, I'd get another splash display there. So that is a pretty cool bit of tech that they've built into this 12-inch screen. Another change on the 2024 models that are gas powered is all 2024 models get this screen, but all Lightnings always got a full digital screen. So again, not much needed to change on the Lightning. You can pan through several different things here on the center screen with these buttons here. Otherwise, this is a normal Ford F-150, guys. There isn't much to set this apart from non-Lightning trims, except for this 15.5-inch screen. Other trims get the wide, I believe it's like 12.5-inch screen, something like that, but this gets the large 15-inch screen plucked right out of the Mustang Mach-E, even down to the volume knob being here in the center. I like it. It works well enough. I do believe that they have updated some of the technology in it, the screens, the interfaces, since the last Lightning we had 2 years ago. I do like this home row of buttons across the top. You can see exactly who's set up as a profile. You can go straight home where you've got all your buttons here. We'll get into that in a second. You have your quick access to your controls, which takes you to your different drive modes that I mentioned earlier. Really like sport. You've got one pedal driving that you can turn on and off right here. Locking differential. Hello, Tesla doesn't even have that yet. Auto hold in traffic. A lot of stuff that's really nice, and all your different updates here that you can go into just a little bit further. Quick access button for the cameras. I do like how on gas-powered F-150s, you get a physical button. It's easier to hit a physical button than an electronic button because you have to hit it right on. But for the most part, it takes you to a nice camera system. It's not the best. It's a little grainy, and I don't feel like they're fully utilizing the screen to its fullest potential. I don't know, it just feels like a little bit of wasted space to me. But you can go into, might as well show you right here, different camera views and modes. Back here for whether or not you're pulling a trailer. You can see a full wide shot up front. You can see what's going on back in the bed, which we have the cover on, but all that is accessed through this panel right here. I like that a lot. Very nice, very quick, very easy to get to right there. Then all your controls. But let's get into this home screen because we were talking about the power in the front and in the back. That is called Pro Power on board, and you can control everything with that system from right here in the cab. You can see the frunk and the cab work under one system. It even shows you how much is being pulled. You can turn the systems on and off from right up here. If you were to go flip open the covers, it would ask you on the screen here, hey, do you want to turn this on and allow this or not? So you can do that. You can add to the bed. You can see we've got two banks back there in the bed. The bed actually has more power than the front because, again, the front is shared with the cabin, and you're going to be doing more work back in the back. And I can hear you saying, Corey, well, this is an electric truck. What if you use all your power? Well, you don't have to because you can have your Pro Power Reserve. You can set it to manual, so you can tell it how many miles of range you want left not to use up so that you can actually drive home. And you've got actual different options here, including nearest charging station. So it uses the map data in it and says, okay, the nearest DC fast charger is so far away. We'll let you deplete the battery down to there. But even that is kind of a stretch because unless this is the only thing powering your workstation, there is enough power on this pickup truck to power the average American home for 3 days. You can buy a system and have it installed in your house and finance it with your pickup truck to where your truck can reverse charge into your house. And in the event of a power outage, you can use your F-150 Lightning to power your house for up to 3 days, depending on the situation. That's enough on the screen here. This does have the max trailering package with 10,000 pounds of max towing, though I would say, yes, you can tow with this, but if you are towing regularly, this is not the tool for you. If you're towing regularly, get a gas-powered version. This can do short trips just fine, but it's going to eat into your range tremendously just because of the physics of it, the aerodynamics of it. This particular truck has just over 1,700 pounds of payload. I believe max payload is just over 1,900 pounds, depending on batteries and options and everything like that. This really is going to serve more as a work truck for tradesmen, maybe like what I used to do when I owned my 07 Silverado. I was cleaning pools at the time, so I just had a bunch of chemicals and tools in the bed. This would work even better because I have that covered storage under the front trunk that I can put some stuff that I really don't want to get wet up underneath there, chemicals and stuff and such. And then I've still got the full bed back behind me to haul all that stuff. This would work good for painters, for contractors like that. And this truck does start at just under $50,000 for the Pro trim. It has the shorter range battery, doesn't have a lot of the luxuries and amenities that this one has inside, but it is still a compelling case. This Lariat is spec'd rather nicely at $88,000. Again, that's for 2023 model. 2024 pricing hasn't come out yet. Ford's been experimenting with price cuts, and we'll see how that works out for them long term. Other things going on in here, dual function HVAC controls with passenger sensing. So you can see it's saving some battery by turning off the passenger side with nobody over there. And you can see I've got my set to 68. We've got heated and ventilated front seats up here that remember where they were set each time you get in the vehicle. So if I have this set to cool, it's going to stay on. And remember, even if I turn the vehicle off, leave, come back, my ventilated seat will remain on throughout the time that I'm driving it. I really like the Barnes accents around here. We do get some physical buttons for traction control and the like down below. Qi wireless charger that actually works, USB-A, USB-C, all of that is hidden under this very slow moving fake wood panel. Couple cup holders, your retractable gear selector so that you can fold out your workstation. We did use this. I like it. It's a little gimmicky with this here. Instead of having a column mounted shifter, I feel like just put the column mounted shifter and give me more space down here instead of this, which could break. And as we put it in different gears, I like the mechanical feel of it, even if it isn't. Because there is no connection, we do have a little extra storage down here because you don't have to have a mechanical connection to the transmission, because there really isn't a traditional transmission. So you get some storage over here and even more storage over here. More storage in your dual glove box setup, which is really nice. I like that a lot. Storage in the doors, you can see multiple levels of storage in the doors. Couple cup holders back here. Very deep, very wide center console here. Big enough to hang file folders from. And the like. You do get a nice rubber mat down below here, and I don't know if you saw, but we have USB-A and USB-C power points in here as well. All kinds of room in here. We have this massive panoramic roof up above me with a manual rolling shade. Let's see, there we go. I will say my one complaint is going to be the same complaint, gas or electric. These buttons are a little hard to see because they're so flat. I'll go ahead and show you. They're just hard to see from the driver's seat. There's a lot of buttons up here that are kind of hard to see from the driver's seat, just the positioning of them. One that is not, though, is the power sliding rear window. Really like that. We'll go ahead and show you right there. The Tundra's got the best rear window in the business because it drops down fully into the bulkhead behind the seats, but I like that, fair enough. And then we get a sunglass holder right there. We've got more power in here for if you need it up front. Again, going back to that Pro Power on board. But we're going to go ahead and pop out of the front and come back to the back, because this is a very nice back seat as well. Same material on the doors. We've got cup holders built in, more of that fake wood. Dual level storage here, just like up front. Bang & Olufsen sound system speakers in this one. Only 8 speakers in this one. You have to get the platinum trim to get the 18 speaker. Nice 60-40 split bench rear seat. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Yes, I can. They've split it in the right direction. Ram puts it in the wrong, where they put the 60% over there and the 40% over here. This allows you the maximum use of space with a car seat in place on the side where you can actually see as the driver the kid in the car seat. So I like that a lot. This is the Ford supplied charger in this bag here, but you can see we have a nice flat load floor all the way back. And we do have some under-seat storage with this retractable panel here that gives you an enclosed space too, which is very nice. But if you don't want it, you can fold it flat. Also very nice. Putting the seat back down and climbing up behind myself at 5'10", it's an embarrassment of space. There's just so much room in the back of full-size pickup trucks now. So much space back here. Again, those cup holders, heated outboard seats here. Don't need that today. Some more power back here. Some more power back here. There's lots of power in this pickup truck. Mat pockets, storage in the doors that we already talked about. Fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. Plenty of headroom back here. Nice recline, though. Unlike the Ram, these seats don't go anywhere, so I am stuck in this position, but all around a very comfortable vehicle. And this is why so many pickup trucks are used as family vehicles here in East Texas. They're nice and roomy on the inside. They're very capable with the bed back behind you. I know plenty of people who own pickup trucks, who live in a house, live in the suburbs, who never really use it as a truck. This absolutely would work for them. This would work for 90% of the people in Texas with pickup trucks, because most of us just want a truck for the usability of it, but we're paying day in and day out for fuel because, well, we want a big pickup truck, but we're also paying to move around a big pickup truck. This is a pretty good alternative. Not only do you get a $7,500 tax credit on purchase, but this is even more efficient to drive. Again, talking about our premium channel, we go into the full math of how expensive this is to drive versus a gas-powered comparable EcoBoost, Power Boost, but I'll sneak peek 4 cents a mile on our current electric plan at home. 4 cents a mile. That is the most cost-efficient cost per mile of any vehicle that is currently in my driveway. That's enough talking about it. Let's get behind the wheel and see how this thing drives. Getting in and driving the Ford F-150 Lightning is perhaps the biggest advantage it has over the Tesla Cybertruck, because it's a normal pickup truck. There's a gear lever here. There's a screen here. There's a gauge in front of me telling me how fast I'm going. There are mirrors. There are windows. I can see everywhere around me. This is an F-150 that happens to be electric. And yeah, when you're driving it, it's really good. It's smooth, it's calm, it's quiet. The power delivery is effortless. You don't have to wait for a gear or the RPMs to rev up like you would in a gas version. It's just really good. In fact, this is one of the fastest F-150s ever made. Yeah, that Raptor R really does compete with this in a total acceleration and fun factor. And it's a totally different vehicle than this for a completely different use case. But here in daily life, in a civil city life, this is a good, fast pickup truck that is very fun to drive. And that's why I'm here on my favorite driving roads in East Texas, is because, well, this is a very fun vehicle to drive. It puts a smile on your face because that 775 pound-feet of torque is available to you instantaneously. And here in normal drive mode, it splits the power nicely and evenly. Again, if you want to see what it's like in sport drive mode with a little bit more fun, go check out our GT Premium Reviews channel, where Eric and I have a lot more fun in this in sport mode, really testing out what this thing is capable of. But going back to today, now, here on this road, the ride of it, again, the independent rear suspension makes this a nice vehicle to drive. The added weight down low makes this a nice vehicle to drive. This is perhaps the best riding F-150 that they make. Again, that Raptor R might have a claim to that as well, just because of those Fox shocks and all the suspension work made to make that one a great off-road racer. But in civil life, this really is good. This is better than all the gas-powered F-150s because of that independent rear suspension, because of the added weight of the battery down below. And because, well, it's just effortless and easy to drive. The steering isn't too heavy. The throttle response is instantaneous. And this does not feel like the big, heavy pickup truck that it actually is. Thanks to that dual electric drive with all that power, this is actually fairly quick. 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds is what Ford claims. I can tell you for a fact, maybe I shouldn't be so emphatic about that, but I did find a modded Ram TRX in traffic driving around, and may have just walked away from him in this because, again, this thing really is just that good. And for most people, this is all the truck you would ever need, especially if you're using this as a family vehicle. Again, 4 cents per mile to drive this, and it's a normal F-150 on the inside. If something were to hit you, ding you, whatever, it is going to be repaired just like a normal gas-powered F-150, because 90% of the parts of this belong to the best-selling vehicle in America in that gas-powered F-150. You've got the entire Ford network backing you up on this. There's hardly a downside to it. Yes, there is question about battery longevity. Yes, there is the question about range and charging. And no, this isn't the fastest charging EV. I really wish that Ford would lean into the 800 volt architecture that their competitors are using. because this tops out at 150 kilowatt hour charging versus the 300 that most DC fast charging stations offer nowadays. That's really, really the Achilles heel of this one. But at 320 miles of full electric range, this is more practical than many EV SUVs when it comes to a typical East Texas road trip. I can very easily see myself going to 90 miles to Dallas in this. I can see myself going to over 100 miles to Houston in this without any problem, without any range anxiety whatsoever. It just require maybe finding a DC fast charger at my destination and charging it while I eat. Other than that, this is a very solid option in the EV game. I can see why Ford was so quick to bring this to market and why it is such a compelling vehicle. Now that the traffic in front of me has cleared, I can show you just a little bit more what this vehicle is capable of on curvy, windy roads. Yeah, it's a little bouncy. The Raptor R would probably handle that situation a little bit better. And there is a lot of mass because not only are you in a pickup truck, but you do have a lot of battery mass adding to this, which is why this uses heavy duty monotube shocks and twin tube shocks in the rear. This is a heavy duty suspension in an F-150, not an F-250 Super Duty, but it's doing a good job of soaking up most of the bumps. We did get a little floaty back there. Otherwise, this is a fun vehicle to drive spiritedly, though don't be fooled, it is not a race car. So don't think that you're gonna be able to drive this like you're driving something on a track. It still is a big American pickup truck. So you can get a little bit fooled with the throttle response into thinking that you're capable of doing a little bit more than perhaps the truck overall is prepared to do. And I can tell you from riding shotgun in this, body roll does exist. You may not feel it as much as the driver because you're the one doing all the inputs in it, but body roll absolutely does exist in this. And I was ready to get out by the time we were done filming for our GT Premium Reviews channel. No mistaking that fact whatsoever. But as we get down to the end of the twisty bit of this road here and out to the full straightaway section of this, I'm gonna hit this button right here. I'm gonna turn off one pedal drive. I'm gonna put it into sport mode, which changes the throttle mapping and how the torque is split front and rear. It does allow for a little more rear end slippage when you're driving sportingly, but we're gonna go ahead and come to a complete stop right over the spillway here, and we will put our foot firmly on the brake, preload the electric motors, and then dump the brake. Oh my goodness, this thing is quick 60. I don't know if that was a full 4 seconds or where that ranks. I'll do my best to use the camera timers on this one, but it is quick. It gives you that gut punch acceleration, more than enough for what a full-size pickup truck driver needs. Trust me. And then, yes, as we get into stop and go traffic, this is easier to drive in traffic here in East Texas than a gas-powered version because that power delivery is so quick, instantaneous, and predictable. It's easy, it's fun, it's quick, it's good to drive. There should be more of these on the road, but there is that stigma that, oh, it's electric. Yeah, but with this being electric, you don't have to worry about oil changes, spark plugs, belts. The brake wear on this is so much different because, especially using one pedal drive, you're putting more of that power back into the batteries and not using your brake pads as much. In fact, I get a little readout here on the gauge. That stop was 97% regenerative braking and only 3% brake pad usage. So, like, the cost of ownership is one of the reasons to buy this. If you must have a big American pickup truck for all the space it provides, for the truck bed, for the extra storage under the hood, and you only want to pay 4 cents a mile to drive it, look at this. Forget Cybertruck. Maybe even forget Rivian, as they're still trying to sort out being a startup company. And Chevy, what are you doing? Get the Silverado EV out to customers already. But for today, here in the beginning of 2024, this is the electric pickup truck to get. Hands down, bar none. It is just that good. Perhaps because it is an F-150 electrified, less so than it is an electric F-150. If you want to see more from us, including our premium review, go check out our second channel, GT Premium Reviews. You can find us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, yes, X, TikTok, YouTube, everything at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can see Holly's thoughts on this pickup truck and Tucker's thoughts on this pickup truck, but from behind the wheel of the Ford F-150 Lightning. Until next time, gearheads, bye. And there we go. 60. Whoo! This thing will scoot, my goodness. And it will chirp the tires. Those general grabbers do what they can to maintain traction, even with the dual electric motors of this one.